So breaking news, the president of Chad has just ordered the complete blockade of the Chadian border with Nigeria. This is in the northeastern part of Nigeria from Borno State. Definitely you have Lake Chad, then a little bit of territory, that is landlocked. Then you have Chad. And the president of Chad has now ordered the complete blockade of their border. According to the information, they said intelligence reports have been getting to the president of Chad that the terrorists in the northeastern part of Nigeria, which is the Boko Haram, some bandit elements, so many, ISWAP, that now that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, has now effectively stated that they could be launching a sweeping, gun-ablazing assault airstrike on Nigeria, but they don't know where. So there is a high suspicion that they feel like Donald Trump could actually be true to his words this time around and launch a very, very devastating assault on these jihadist elements in Nigeria. A lot of people have been arguing that, look, who are the people that fund this jihadist element at the end of the day? But we don't know. We don't really know to what extent. We don't know the players, because at the end of the day, why are they trying to run into Chad? For me, I think the president of Chad has made the very, very best decision for his people. Chad has been peaceful recently, and they fought their way to that peace. It wasn't just a given peace. The peace wasn't given. The Chad president had to fight to it. His dad gave up on the line of contact. That is the great Idrissa Deby. I knew about how great Chad was during the time of Idrissa Deby. They defeated the Boko Haram to the point that they swapped into the Nigerian territory. They conquered the Boko Haram, seized a lot of ammunition, unbelievable amount of weapons, rifles of different calibers, were seized in Nigeria. But as at the time when they were able to capitulate the Boko Haram structurally, had already been discombobulated. But the next thing you heard was the Nigerian government at the time telling the former president of Chad that, look, you know what? The intention is not to kill them. Nigeria is a sovereign state. You can't come into Nigeria and launch this level of operation. And at that point, I knew that, look, the Boko Haram thing, the fight against the insurgency, Nigeria has never been honest about this fight. So now that the president, the son of that great Idrissa Deby, is saying, block the border. And as you can see in the image here, the soldiers are already there. And to be honest with you, when it comes to military capability, the Chadian soldiers, they can hold it down. They have some skills under their sleeves. So now they've blocked it. The information is circulating around the Nigerian mainstream media and all of that. I really love that, because at the end of the day, nothing can be taken for granted at this point. Now let's swap into Mali, because in the Bougouni region of Mali, President Assimi Goïta actually made a casual visitation to the lithium. According to the information where they said this is the second, lithium mining site in Mali, and this is 100% Malian lithium mining site. Ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the amount of lithium that they have in this mining site, you will actually be, surprised. It's not just gold. It's not just Mali has diamond. Mali has it all, and you will know that this is the reason why Mali has been facing confrontations on all sides, overtly and covertly. To even go forward, right? Bougouni before was a highly contested environment between the JNIM and the Malian armed forces, and the Malian farmers actually dominated with class. Now you can see the reason why the Bougouni region was highly contested. It was because of that lithium. And a lot of people might be asking, why the lithium? Yeah, why not the lithium? There is electric vehicles, there's drone. Why? The world is changing. And now that the world is changing, a lot of people need alternative energy source. Nobody is burning hydrocarbon, you have the green energy and all of that. So people are now changing to lithium. China is producing a lot of cars, electric vehicles and all of that, you know, most of your technological equipments, robots and everything. People are going into the lithium, you know, and the lithium market is one of the most lucrative market on the planet right now. So you heard some of the American, you know, American officials saying things like, you know, we want to catch up with China in the next 2 years. Whatever they have, the rare earth minerals and all of that, we and our Western partners, we will do everything we can, you know, and all our supporters all around the world and all of that, you know. These people are only trying to coerce, you know, force people to come to their knees. And, you know, Mali did not, you know, come to his knees. And you can see that is another wealth of Mali. So when you hear this conversation of, okay, it's about, the fight is not about religion, okay? The fight has always been about the interest of the foreigners in Mali. And what interest do they have in Mali? What interests them about Mali? It is not because the Malians are so beautiful that they are more beautiful than the Sudanese. No, yeah, you know, they don't care if, you know, the guy in Sudanese bears a different name from the guy in Mali. No, their objective is, what are the strategic resources that the people in Mali has that can benefit us? So the first thing to do to set up, you know, a sort of opportunity or evidence to launch an invasion is to tell lies, you know, is to tell some lies. You know, okay, now there's terrorism in Buguni. Oh, they're about to encircle this region. Okay, you know, they started sending Rudy Atala, right? Rudy Atala went to, okay, there was a point we heard that, okay, the CIA has now given a statement that, you know, the US intelligence should start, you know, collaborating with the Malian armed forces, and they should start sharing intelligence so that the Malians can conquer the JNIM. They know them, they know how they operate and all of that. You know, at the end of the day, they are always trying to set up, you know, a premise towards a conclusive airstrike. But the Malians stood their ground and they said no. And just one of the reasons why they've always wanted this is because of this. Just this lithium plant is just one of them among many. You know, in Burkina Faso, the conversation was around, oh, initially the first excuse they wanted to use for an invasion like they did in Libya, like they did in Iraq, was, oh, Captain Ibrahim Traore was using the gold of Burkina Faso to protect himself, you know. And the next thing, they did not believe how much the people of Africa stood against it. Don't come save anybody right around here. And the next thing they did was, okay, they tried to, you know, dump down that allegation because it was a complete lie. And they saw that it was very, very obvious to the people. You know, and instead of even bringing down the name of Captain Ibrahim Traore, they made, you know, they blew him, you know, he blew up over, he went through the roof immediately. His fame crashed the roof immediately. The bar that set for him before, he just went above the bar at that point. And they looked at it that, what would they do? You know, they've always set up a premise towards a conclusive disaster where they come in with this Messiah God complex. You know, and after that, okay, they said they can help Burkina Faso to conquer the JNIM. So the question is, what do they know about the JNIM? Right? The JNIM, these are just brainwashed elements that don't even know that they are being used as a bargaining chip for a greater interest. And when it's time for them to use, you know, they will level out all of them. That's what they don't understand, that they need to wake up and understand this thing. They don't give two things about maybe religion or whatsoever. They only care about strategic interests. So that is the information we have for today. So you can see the reason why all these regions have always been contested. It is not about Sharia. It is not about religion. It is not about you as a Christian or you as a Muslim. Who cares about that? Okay, we once heard that USAID was funding Boko Haram in Nigeria. They said this by themselves. And let me tell you something. A lot of people used to look at the United States that why do they come out overtly to expose this thing on the media that, okay, we train the first set of Al-Qaeda, we train, you know, you start hearing all those things. And a lot of people will ask, why are they telling on themselves? Because you feel like, how can you do this? And you are telling on yourself. The United States never believed that a time will come where there will be another superpower that will give people the opportunity to rival them, to go against their unilateral decision. You know, they come out to overtly make this statement because they want you to know how powerful they are. It's like a mental control. When they tell you, oh, we launched this in Iraq, we do this, so that you will know that, look, we can come into your country and do whatever we can. We will still come out and say it. You think they're telling on themselves, but they are sending a sort of mental warfare. It's a tool. They want you to know that, look, if we want to get you out of there, we can get you out of there. But the world has changed. People are now making strategic alliances to benefit them, and everybody's sovereignty cannot be overemphasized at this point in time. Now that you are having the digital yuan, you know, China is now dumping their, you know, US dollar bond, and everybody is going towards a new system. The global financial system is changing. A financial system that will be determined by how much gold you have, how much silver you have, how much diamond you have, how much lithium you have, how much rare earth mineral you have. Who controls the supply chain? So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is the information. You can kindly give us your opinion, what you think about this information. Homeland of death will never ever give up because we don't have another homeland. This is our homeland. And for those in Nigeria that think this is a religious war, I just want to let you know something, right? At the end of the day, the question is, who funded the Boko Haram? Who, I mean, that we know that overtly came out and said, oh, we were funding the Boko Haram with so certain organization, right? Which country's deep state were funding this organization? They went to Burkina Faso. What did they tell Ibrahim Traore that Ibrahim Traore told you? They told you that Ibrahim Traore told you that they said they don't want the war to end. They want to keep the war going. We will supply you and we will supply the jihadists. In 2014, why did they tell Goodluck Jonathan that they are not going to give him the right weapon? That they don't even, they gave Nigeria, or they put Nigeria on arms embargo. Like they put an arm embargo on Nigeria. So no more weapons that were being sold to Nigeria at the time. Nigeria had to be shipping in weapons through the black market. And still, you know, you see these elements brandish some of the latest, you know, warfare tools that you can ever find out there. So who has been refilling, rearming, refinancing the jihadists? Ladies and gentlemen, get the game. Get the lyric. Don't dance to the rhythm. Because America is playing the rhythm right now. Don't let the tide wash you off. They want to set a premise. Come in with an invasion. Their invasion is always catastrophic. The civilians are going to be the casualty at the end of the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how I draw the curtain. Want to appreciate you all, the family. You can tell us who you want us to collaborate with next. Most especially, you guys have to demand for someone that is also a counterterrorism expert so that we can synchronize properly. I'm a counterterrorism, you know, journalist. You know, you guys can demand for another counterterrorism specialist that you know, that you feel like we can actually link up and we can, you know, there can be a great synergy out there. I want to appreciate everyone that have donated to our struggle today, because without funding, it will be very difficult for independent journalism to gain any foothold. We don't get funded by any organization out there. We only get funded by you and you alone. So for those that have been contributing financially to support the struggle, we really appreciate you. Thank you, and God bless you.